I was stuck in the desert in an abandoned hotel, and at that point I cut off my family.
It didn't take me long to realize it was a problem. I just didn't do anything about it at the time. I was enjoying it at the point.
Most kids use because they're in pain. They're in emotional pain, some here. They want to deaden it, okay? And that's the problem we have to address too, first.
It's actually robbing our youths of their life, their birthright of being happy.
The heroin that we're finding on our streets is purer than we've ever seen before. Not only is it almost 100% pure heroin, but now it's also laced with other products that are hallucinogenics and other addictive substances such as fentanyl, which is a horse tranquilizer, which makes a bad problem even worse.
The problem with drugs in a town this size is that we do have a lot of dense area where people can hide. But eventually, you know, you'll get caught.
This is my Justin. He was an amazing, amazing, amazing boy. He really, really was.
It's not what we used to think 10, 20 years ago, that it's a bum on the street. It's right here in our backyard. It's the faces of today's youth.
I had a great life growing up. As a child, my parents gave me everything I needed, all the love and care I could ask for in the world.
I was an athlete. I wrestled all throughout high school. I played baseball. Had a lot of friends. I never really got high grades in school, but you know, I did okay.
He was loved by everybody. Justin was that kind of kid that everybody that met him, he touched their lives. He was a very gentle soul. Justin had a connection with just everybody.
I was a great kid, very cautious, doing well in school. I was always a straight A student. Sports, motocross, loved motocross, and got along with my sisters. We had a very tight family.
Most parents say, oh, not my kid with a needle in his arm. Oh, yes, it is. It's the rich kid who lives in Colts Neck. You know, it's the poor kid who lives in Lakewood, and everything in between.
When I started in this job about 10 years ago, you would never see heroin. It was pretty much non-existent. Motor vehicle stops, search warrants, whatever you would do related to narcotics enforcement, heroin was very rare. It was almost like taboo in society to even use heroin, so we really didn't see much of it. It was mostly marijuana. You had some other drugs, ecstasy, cocaine, crack, but heroin was unheard of.
It was an older family member that introduced me to marijuana, and from there I just got curious. I started at 12 years old.
High school, I tried everything really. Like I said, I started with the marijuana. That moved to harder things like cocaine, LSD, mushrooms. Did a lot of ecstasy in high school. Pretty much whatever the flavor of the week was, whatever was popular.
We just saw little things here and there. We thought it was pot. He was smoking pot.
First I jumped to the party drugs, cocaine, ecstasy, started doing acid, and then the pills got really big.
Everyone started using the prescription pills, the oxycodone. You might have heard of Valium or Vicodin, Percocets. A lot of these drugs are all oxycodone based, but just have different brand names. But they started to become widely abused for different reasons, for people with legitimate injuries or people that just wanted to experiment with them recreationally.
When the cost increased and the difficulty to obtain it, heroin spiked through the roof. Same type of effect, it's an opiate, same type of effect on the body.
You can get a bag of heroin in Howell Township for anywhere from $3 to $10 a bag as opposed to paying $30 a pill, and it's the same type of high.
Literally, as soon as I started doing them, I was addicted. It was a quick jump to heroin because they're $30 a pill, which is equal to a $5 bag of heroin.
Once a child uses heroin, they're in for a life of pain.
It's taking more of their life than just dying. It controls them totally. And it stops the ability to dream and understand what they want for their future.
I said, oh, I can do everything in life that I wanted to. I can reach my goals and I can still do these drugs. And there's a lie that I've been telling myself this whole time.
I didn't quite feel the same when I wasn't on it. You know, that I didn't feel right. My mood started changing. I wasn't happy without it.
Everybody I talk to says the same thing. You know, I wake up in the morning and I literally can't function without getting this in my system. The sickness is worse than death itself.
Eventually it gets to a point where you don't really get high off it anymore. You just maintain.
My whole life fell apart. I lost my scholarship. I lost my standing in school. I got kicked out of school. I got arrested. I started dealing the Oxycontin. I was stealing. I probably weighed 100 pounds at the time.
It was very, very quick downward spiral after that.
You know, the stealing of the jewelry, the things that are missing, the things that, you know, as parents, you may think, you know, oh no, it's not that, but it is. It ends up to be, it is that.
We've had 4 overdoses in the last 3 months. That's just unheard of.
My parents fought tooth and nail. I was stuck in the desert in an abandoned hotel. My mom, she got fed up and she came out to California and she found me in the middle of the desert. I don't know how she found me, but she kicked in the door at the abandoned hotel and I was standing there and she pulled me out and she said, come on, we're gonna go get you some help.
We've seen women that, and I say young women, that beautiful, beautiful women that have just suffered now just a look and an appearance. They don't care about their hygiene anymore. I almost think it's more of a problem for women than I do men.
The good things were gone at that point. It just seems like, you know, everybody forgets the good that you do. They just remember the bad. And because of his disease, you know, he felt bad. He was so guilty for what he did.
For like 10 years, it was like Groundhog Day. It was the same exact thing. You know, find the drugs, take the drugs, wake up the next morning, do the same thing.
Eventually, without a doubt, it'll lead to death. It'll either be physical death. It could be death from alienation and isolation from your friends and your family when your neighbors turn their back on you. The message that we want to give is that if you try it once, the likelihood of you dying is very high.
I wish I knew what the effect they had on you. When you're young, it's all in good fun and you're partying and you don't realize it. I wish somebody would have told me.
It's death to who you used to be. There is no such thing. I have yet to speak with somebody that's currently an addict that says they are who they used to be.
The sad part is I knew everything. I knew everything. I mean, my parents told me how bad drugs were.
We're actually very aggressive on the law enforcement side. If we get a lead, we're following it through. We are out there seeking and sniffing and checking.
After you lose your child, you go back and you say, wow, what did I do wrong? And I can't say that we did anything wrong. And any parent that I've met on my new journey, they've never done anything wrong either. It's just what you do during that time. I mean, we do the best. You do the best that you can, you know, for your child.
When somebody hands you a bag of heroin, they don't say, here you go, you know, in a couple weeks you're going to be calling me every day and you're going to be robbing from your family to get more of these.
Sooner or later, we will know about it. We will do everything we can to try to save you, but unfortunately, our success rate with being able to do that is not very good.
If you think that your child is on drugs, if he's showing signs that he might be on drugs, I know obviously he's going to deny it. I'm telling you right now, you're probably right.
Your child is going to start off with any kind of drug and it's going to progress. And once it progresses to heroin, okay, your child is in for a life of pain. You're in for a life of pain, your family's in for a life of pain.
Speak with your children. Speak with them. Show them the realities. Do not sugarcoat this problem.
Really be invested in your child's life and understand not only what sport they're doing, how well they're doing in school, but who their friends are.
Don't think that, you know, typical teenage behavior is that, because it's not.
Please pay attention to your child's cell phone, social media, text messaging.
This does not have to be. This is something that we can prevent.
Be involved with your kids. If it takes snooping around in their bedrooms, looking through their personal things, you might not like the sound of that, but that's what you have to do.
There is hope at the end of the road. People can recover and you can make your way out of this.
Death is a very likely outcome from this type of epidemic, and even if we are lucky enough to save you, we will come after you with every available tool that we have for incarceration and arrest and seizure in order to stop this epidemic from going through Howell Township.